Hello, my name is Martin. It's my channel Millionaire Autobahn. Welcome. So you're thinking about day trading when you're in your 50s. To be honest, I thought the same thing. I had this idea for quite a while. So I think day trading is actually a viable option, even if you're in your 50s. Obviously, you can start at any age, that doesn't really matter. But it's often like most day traders you find online, they're like in their 20s, in their 30s, maybe even 40s, but usually they're in the younger group, right? And most of the time people start day trading when they're in financial limbo, meaning they lost their jobs or they were just getting by or they're not happy with their jobs and they want to find something to supplement their income or to have a completely new income. You hear a lot of times day trading is a scam or it's not for you or a lot of people lose their money with it. And that is all true in some respect. Let's say tried day trading over the last few years. Here and there, sometimes I had some days where I say, oh, let's do some day trading. Others I didn't. So why did I not pursue this on a daily basis? Well, first of all, I'm in a lucky position to have a six-figure job. And with that in mind, it actually kind of creates a situation where you don't have to do anything else than just your job and still make enough money. However, over the last 2 years or so, I've been living quite frugally and put away quite a good amount of money. And with any business, and you have to see day trading as a business, you need an investment, right? So let's just assume, for example, you would start a new website. So you would need software developers, you would need marketing, social media presence, and so on. So you need some sort of an investment. You start an electrician's business. You need vans, you need employees, all sorts of things. So you need an investment. And with all investments, with all businesses, 95 to 99% will not be successful. So keep that in mind. So coming back to the point where they say it's a scam, you lose your money and everything like that, it's exactly the same as if you start a business. And this can happen to anybody. So my idea to start this day trading business is to have an initial investment of $50,000. So as a US citizen, you actually, in order to trade in the US, you have to have $25,000 minimum in your trading account to qualify for day trading. If not, you can only trade on a daily basis, like maybe 2-3 times a week. There is a limit there. So if you're outside the US, obviously you can start day trading with $100. So now when I say I start with $50,000 investment, doesn't mean I actually day trade with $50,000. So what I'm doing is I will only start with $5,000. And the overall idea, and I know again that's something where, a lot of people argue, oh, that's not possible. And I will start with the 1% per day rule. And so that would mean that make 1% a day, and the next day I will reinvest that gained 1%, so to compound it, and trade with that. So when I start with 5,000, then I hopefully make $5,050 on the first day. Then the next day I use the $5,050 to trade with that, and so on and on. So theoretically, if I would do this 5 days a week for one whole year, at the end, I have the numbers right here, at the end I would end up with like $66,000 out of $5,000, which is pretty not bad, right? Of course, you couldn't live off of that. So that's the second thing. So if you want to start this, either you still have a job where you make your living, or you have to have enough money on the side so you can live with that. So if, let's say, you have $3,000-4,000 expenses a month, so you should have at least, if you say it takes you about 2 years to get to the point where you can take money out, so you should have about roughly $100,000 additionally to the $50,000 investment on the side, okay? Just to make sure you can live a comfortable life. So with that said, the 1% rule, as said, is often laughed at and so on, because, well, to be honest, if you would do this in 10 years, for a whole time of 10 years, you theoretically could become a trillionaire, theoretically, which sounds absolutely insane. Obviously, there are limits to that. Once you reach, let's say you have $1 million in your trading account, you narrow down the stocks you can buy, because there might not be as many stocks available for that amount of money. But nevertheless, theoretically, that could be possible. Totally insane, just showing how strong a 1% compound starting with just $5,000 can be. So with that in mind, my strategy will be to use this 1% rule to find the stocks that I can gain 1% a day, right? And I will have future videos on how that strategy will look like, what is needed to find these stocks, and to not gamble. That is the most important part, right? Don't gamble. That also means if you don't feel the day that you want to day trade, then don't trade. Because it doesn't make sense just to trade for the heck of it. If you say, well, today I'm just not feeling it, then just, leave the computer alone, just do your regular work and forget about it, right? So why actually day trading and not maybe, let's say, drop shipping or any other side hustle, if you will? Well, the thing is, what I personally like about it is it's just me and the market. So it's you and the market, right? So there's nobody else that can get in your way besides you yourself, right? So if you start a business, and I've been an entrepreneur all my life, I've started several businesses, some successful, some not. That's how it works. And as soon as you need other people, as you need colleagues, as you need partners for your business, and you think you want to give like 200%, right? You work 16 hours a day to get something going, but then your other partner or your employee or whatever, they don't want to give that much, then you kind of feel after a while, you feel kind of let down. And so things are not moving as you want it to. And that's what I like about this day trading idea, that you can say, okay, it's just really you. You have to figure out what's a good stock to trade, and you have to make the decisions. You have to make the decisions when to get in, you have to make the decisions when to get out, and there's nobody else involved. So if it doesn't work, the only person to blame is you, right? And I think that's actually, to be honest, I do like that idea. So I'm not relying on anybody else. It's really just, in this case, just me. Or obviously for you, it's you, obviously. So yeah, that's the idea. So I want to do these videos on how to start day trading when you're in your 50s, maybe to supplement your retirement, maybe to start a new business venture, to see it as a business, or to just say, well, I have some money laying around, why not? And see if I can increase that money, So that's the whole idea behind this. And I'm actually doing this YouTube channel to also keep me focused on this, to have some sort of a system in place that kind of looks and says, look, Martin, you have to do this. You cannot just sit there not doing that. So that's kind of the whole idea behind this, to have you actually out there to look at me and say, where's the next video? Why haven't you done anything? This should be like a weekly type of videos that I want to bring out to actually show what happened during the week. Have I been successful with the 1%? To show you on how you can reach that. And then we all together then hopefully can make a living out of this. So stay tuned. There will be more videos coming and we'll talk again soon. Alrighty, bye.